Hey everyone, welcome to Bali Talk, episode 6. Hopefully we'll find some things this week that will help you on your travels. We've been checking everything, found a few things which will hopefully help us all enjoy our trips a bit better and stay safe while we're there. So first one that we found this week, and we covered it last week a little bit, is the fake Gojek and Grab drivers. So there's actually a full-blown article coming out of Bali's newspaper about the crackdown on tour guides and fake drivers. So yeah, I actually saw an Instagram video the other night. Someone had filmed, I'm not sure whether it's police or the local security, checking on people in the Garlic Lane area. Sounded like I don't speak Indonesian, so I couldn't quite understand what was being said, but it sounded like it was getting quite heated. But yeah, they're definitely out there. They're definitely trying to clean the industry up. Sounds like the fake driver, unless they can prove their official driver, it sounds like, I'm not sure if the bikes, but at least the fake helmets and fake jackets that they're wearing are being taken off of them. So we've mentioned it before, don't just grab bikes and things off the street, especially late at night. Always use the apps, and when the bike or car arrives, double check against the details on the app to make sure you've got the right one. That's the best thing you can do to stay safe. There's far too many reports of, people getting robbed or something like that. The next post is talking about a new road that's going to be constructed that will help with traffic congestion. Well, it sounds like they're planning a whole lot of new developments, particularly around Uluwatu, Canggu and Seminyak. So obviously trying to relieve congestion and address, apparently according to this article, the increasing number of accidents that are happening in those areas. So we'll keep our eyes posted once there's some more details posted about it. But yeah, there's hopefully that's our tourist levy going to some good. I have seen some posts about, I think in Sanur, footpaths being upgraded. So I think, most people don't mind paying that $15 levy or 150,000 rupiah levy if they're regular travellers, if they can see that it's actually helping improve the island. So we'll keep an eye on it, let you know if we see anything more. Next one should be a quick one. They're just, for people travelling that need Ventolin Inhalers, there always seems to be this fear about travelling to Southeast Asian countries. Oh, can I get my, third world country? Oh my God. They're not as bad as you think. Chemists are everywhere in the tourist areas, and this person has asked, they've unfortunately arrived in Bali without any inhalers, so they're wanting to know if they can get Ventolin inhalers at pharmacies. Now, yes, the answer is yes. Some chemists have a doctor on site. I can't tell you which ones, but just go to your local chemist, ask whether you can get it, or whatever it is that you need, whether it be Ventolin or whatever medication that you need. If they've got a doctor on site, they'll be able to help you with the prescription. If not, they'll advise you where you need to go to get the prescription before they can give you the medication. So again, lots and lots of doctors around the place, lots of tourist doctors. So don't stress if you lose or forget your medication. You will be able to get most of it pretty easily. Next one. What is your most unexpected Bali find? So, not a lot of comments on this one, so it'll be quick. So, first one, apparently they're walking down some of the side lanes and came across warung bule, and apparently it's the best food they ever had. Most of the meals were 15 Australian dollars and less, so roughly about 150,000 rupiah underneath that. Next person talks about Nusa Dua. We haven't spent a lot of time in Nusa Dua. It's a resort area. The day we did go there, I can't say I was overly impressed. You know, for a resort area, the areas outside of it, so the roads, public areas, still just as untidy as anywhere else in Bali. And when we did the water sports, you know, the beach and the water were pretty messy. And even when we went out on the jet ski, they're actually like warning us if we see, you know, if you see rubbish, you've got to try and avoid it. So, you know, sure, other people's experience will be different, but probably not an area that we would spend a lot of time in. What else we got? Yeah, there's not many here, as I said. Yeah, and that's about it really. So yeah, pretty much waste time, wasn't it? The next one, and I think we might have touched on this before. This is actually in confirming that Bali or Indonesian immigration is actually out patrolling areas like Canggu, conducting passport and visa checks. So, as we've mentioned before, they are checking. So, especially when it comes to the tourist levy, you see a lot of people saying, "Oh, I didn't, you know, don't worry about paying that," or "I didn't do this," or "I didn't do that." You know, everything's linked to your passport, so you know they know whether you're paying it or not. And just because right at this moment there doesn't appear to be any consequence to not paying it, doesn't mean that that's not going to be introduced at any time now. So it's a mandatory requirement, so it's only $15, so just pay the thing. As I said, it's linked to your passport, so they'll know. And if they are doing these spot checks, you show them your passport details. I imagine they're going to be able to tell straight away whether you've done all the things that you're supposed to have done. Who knows, at some point, you know, you might be asked to pay it there and then. Who knows? Maybe at some point, you know, if you haven't paid it, maybe you refuse to pay it. Maybe you might be asked to pack your bags and leave. Who knows? But it's such a small amount of money. And I think we are starting to see some evidence that money is doing some good there. So just pay it. So in terms of the checks, I know a lot of people, including myself, are nervous about carrying, you know, passports and, you know, originals of our Australian licenses and things. Just have copies of all that on your phone, or maybe have photocopies in a small folder that if you are stopped and asked for those sorts of things, you've at least got that. I have heard that generally they're okay with that. And if they're not, just keep in mind that apparently you have 24 hours to produce the originals. So keep the originals in a secure location back at your accommodation, and just have those copies on you so that if you are stopped and asked, you can at least address it there and then. Next one comes up quite a bit. People ask about getting prescription glasses made in Bali. I don't know a lot about it. I don't need prescription glasses yet. I do need reading glasses. I have troubles reading fine print. So this person is asking for people's thoughts on prescription glasses being made in Bali. So let's see what people are recommending. A place called Honey Boy Optic in Kuta. Apparently this person has been getting glasses from them for many years, even during COVID, and having them mailed to Australia, and no issues with any of the glasses that have been made. Next recommendation is a place called Hollywood Optic in Garlic Lane. Next recommendation is a place called Honey Boy on Jalan Padma. They've had multifocal lenses made, and they're just as good, if not better, than the ones from OPSM in Australia, and roughly about a quarter of the price. So in Sanur, this person is recommending, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but a place called Wina, W-I-N-A Optic. Apparently they're excellent for transition lenses and multifocals, but no mention of price. Again, Hollywood Optical in Garlic Lane comes up. Here's another Sanur recommendation. Good, this person actually mentions prices, which will help you. A place called Iris in Sanur. Take your prescription with you. Some of the group just took their existing glasses, and a couple of them had eye tests there. Have a great choice of frames. Some of them as low as $7. I presume they're talking Australian. Lenses were about $35, slightly more for sunglasses. Roughly about $50 Australian a pair. So they comment that the service was great, communication was great, and for an extra $5 they delivered all the glasses to the accommodation in Seminyak. That sounds like a pretty good deal. I think just my reading glasses were, I think it was $199 for 2 pairs. Just from a local optician, not one of the chain stores. But again, Hollywood Optical in Garlic Lane comes up. If you're not sure about Garlic Lane, just put it into Google, it'll come up. It's actually just the nickname for Jalan Sahadewa, I think it's called. Next recommendation is a business called ICU in Denpasar. Roughly about $26 a pair with a free eye test. Apparently they went and had lunch, and an hour later all 4 pairs were ready. That sounds like pretty good service. Another recommendation for Honey Boy Optics in Kuta. Purchased 3 pairs that are multifocal with transition, and paid less than I would for 1 pair in Australia. A recommendation for Mare Bali Optic. I'm not sure where that is, just you can Google it if you're interested. Had 2 pairs of multifocals made. 2 pairs cost me about $420 compared to 1 pair in Australia $1,200. Here's a recommendation for Canggu. Sunset Eyewear. Fantastic, 3 pairs, $25 each. Yeah, they don't really say what type of glasses that is though. So Hollywood Optical comes up again, and again, and again. Another recommendation for Iris in Sanur. Yeah, so that's a bit of indication of the pricing you can expect, and a few recommendations for different areas in Bali. So yeah, if you've got a copy of your prescription, just take it with you. If not, it sounds like take your glasses with you. It sounds like most places can remake them from that, or just have an eye test done. Sounds like they're a hell of a lot cheaper than what you can get in Australia. And from the comments on here, sounds like they're just as good, if not better quality than what we can get here. So yeah, don't know if I'd go out of my way, but if you got a trip planned there, wouldn't mind some new glasses, go for it. It sounds like. This post is talking about, I hadn't heard of this one before, but apparently this is one of Bali's biggest development projects. Now I'm not sure how to pronounce this, so don't hold it against me. The Kerthi Bali Semesta Park project, referred to locally as Disneyland. Apparently it hasn't been talked about since about 2023, but apparently, as you know, they've not that long ago had elections, and apparently the new local government has put that development back up for discussion. Apparently it is planned for an area called Gembrana. It's a massive theme park, which is a collaboration between Paramount Pictures and an Indonesian company called PT Kios Ria Krayas, so Kios for short. So apparently it'll be similar to Universal Studios in Singapore, and will feature attractions based on Paramount films and television. So according to this, there'll be attractions based on SpongeBob, probably great for the kids. Dora, again, great for the kids. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Depends on which version they're going to base that on, whether that be for kids or adults. Apparently it's also going to feature a sports academy, a golf course, 2 hotels and apartments. Apparently, I'm not quick enough to do this maths in my head. Apparently there's a budget of 14 trillion rupiah for this project. Apparently though, the development is based on the timely construction of the Gili Manuk Mengwi toll road. From what some of you might know, I'm not sure, I haven't looked it up yet. Gembrana sounds like it's well outside of the tourist areas, so they're obviously hoping that this road will get done so that it's easier for, I presume what they're trying to plan is that, most tourists probably stay in the south of the island, Kuta, Legian, Seminyak, Canggu, Uluwatu, that's what, so obviously this road is made to try and get people quickly and easily up to the area that this park is going to be built in. But yeah, family, we are amusement park fans. So if something like that does end up going ahead, we will definitely be in the line to go to it. So I'll keep my eye out and let you know if there's any more developments. Hopefully we'll see maybe some action happening soon. So last one, again another safety one. So this post again is about safety. So what the person has commented is they're basically saying be vigilant when walking the streets at night in Legian. So I'll read the story to you. So they were heading back to their hotel from Garlic Lane when a man on a motorbike pulled up next to them looking sus. They thought he was just another Grab driver harassing us for a lift, but he leant over and completely yanked one of their group's gold chain off of them and then took off. So the person comments, we've been coming to Bali for over 10 years, always felt safe, never experienced anything like this before. They're saying just relieved it was only a gold chain. that they took, and no one was seriously hurt. So let's see what people are commenting. So yeah, the first person's quote is saying, that they love Bali, but they do not wear any jewelry while they're over there, not even their wedding ring. So we've said it before, leave your valuables at home. Yeah. Quite often it seems that a lot of this stuff is happening at night time. It's unusual though this is obviously a group of people. It's the first time I've heard of a group being targeted. Normally, if you're maybe out by yourself, maybe one other person, that seems to be where most of this sort of thing is happening. But yeah, just, jewelry quite often has some sentimental value to people. Leave it at home. You're so unlikely to lose it if you've left it at home. It's probably not likely to happen in Bali either. Given the amount of people that go there, it's probably only a very small percentage of people that have been, unfortunately for them, not downplaying that have been targeted. So, but protect yourself. Leave anything valuable at home. I always get a bit nervous when I'm out and about. I've obviously got this camera. Quite often have my stills camera with me as well. But we generally don't go out too much of a night time. Usually we've been out all day, so by the time it's starting to get dark, it's dinner time, we've had enough, go to sleep. But I'm very mindful of it. So action cameras are generally tethered to me, or I'm wearing a neck brace, which I tell you, if someone tried to grab that off of me, I'm going to get hurt. That's pretty solid, heavy duty stuff. And my stills camera is on a shoulder strap, which is then the camera's attached with a screw. Again, for someone to actually get that off, it's going to take some effort. They're either not going to get it or I'm going to get seriously hurt. But yeah, as I said, we're usually out of a daytime, and it seems to be that most of this stuff happens of a nighttime. So, just be very, very careful. Even your phones. If you're going to wave it around doing video or taking photos, I don't know, have a look online and see if there's something you can buy which will tether it to you. I'm sure it probably exists, I just haven't looked for it, but maybe I'll have a look, let you know next week if we've managed to find anything that you can tether a phone to yourself. Keep it, try and prevent people that are trying to take it. So the next post is that, suggesting that the robber was clearly watching them for quite some time before deciding who to approach and when to take it. Yeah, another couple of comments saying, don't wear the jewelry. The next person's saying, we're bringing a lot of business to Bali. Police should be acknowledging this as it will deter travellers and they'll start going somewhere else. The problem is, at the moment, it doesn't seem to matter where you go in the world. If you're silly enough to be flashing like gold bracelets or gold necklaces or massive gold or diamond earrings, you are making yourself a target. I know it shouldn't be that way, but that just seems to be the reality of the world that we're in now. So it doesn't matter where you're going, Europe, Asia, parts of America, South America, leave your valuables at home. Anything shiny, flashy, expensive gold, leave it at home. It's not going to miss you. Yeah, and actually that's exactly what the next comment is just saying. You know, leave your jewelry at home. If you do take it on holiday with you, then leave it in a safe place at your hotel. And the same rule applies to any tourist destination around the world. And they comment, to display your jewelry is even more crazy. You are making yourself a target. Next comment, similar thing. Gold prices are high at the moment. It's a risk wearing jewelry anywhere nowadays. Oh, this is interesting. They're actually commenting that they had a nail tech try to remove her ring without me noticing in Australia. So, inflation, cost of living, you know, whatever's causing it is having an impact worldwide. You know, while you might be okay and maybe the circle of your friends and family is okay, there are lots of people out there really, really struggling, and that's probably why these sorts of reports are starting to happen more and more. So, don't know. Not that it'll ever happen. Maybe we all need to get together and work out ways to share our wealth a lot more evenly or equitably. It won't happen though. But I do remember reading at some point a quote from, I'm not sure if it was Economist, I think it was, where he basically suggests that the better a country is at sharing its wealth, the less the crime rate will be. So basically what he was saying is the crime rate and the sharing of wealth are unfortunately linked. So the better a country is at sharing its wealth, the less the crime rate. The worse, the more inequity, the higher the crime rate. So, and I think we're starting, unfortunately, to see it all over the world. I'm sure people in Melbourne and Gold Coast are starting to question why so much crime is happening. So yeah, it's not just a Bali thing. So this comment, and I sort of agree with it in a way. This person's suggesting that, you know, this type of crime is going to backfire on Bali. They're basically saying that, you know, Bali's not the cheapest place to go anymore, and they're on a slippery slope because the majority of their income is from tourism. So, in a way, I sort of agree with that. But it happens all over the world too. That's the problem. There seems to be this attitude that, you know, well, if you can afford to come here, you can, you know, we're going to target you, whether it be illegally or legally, to get as much money out of you as we can. There seems to be this perception that just because you're a tourist and you've been able to afford to get to this destination, that you've got money. Don't know whether that's right or wrong. So he is saying that he was approached by girls on bikes, I presume on scooters, about 3 weeks ago in Garlic Lane. And as soon as he left the bar, the same 3 to 4 bikes came at him straight away, and not for your usual Bali bike friendliness. I presume what he's suggesting, without going into the details, is those, sounds like these girls were scoping him before he went into the bar, and they obviously spotted something they wanted, waited for him to come out, and as soon as he's come out, they've targeted him. This person's posted anonymously, and I would say because their comment's stupid, but he's basically saying F the criminals. He's worked hard for his jewelry. Well, and to wear it and to feel good and to show off wherever I go. And good luck getting it off me. Well, you know, that's just stupid. You know, don't listen to that sort of. So, this person, rather long comment. We'll read this one, then we'll leave it. Moral of the story. Don't wear something that's worth about a year's wages to most people in the area around your neck, even if it's hidden under your shirt. The thief has probably got a glimpse of it earlier when the person was eating, drinking, or whatever they were doing. They've waited until the person was on the move where they could set up a motorbike snatch and run robbery. So someone's always scouting for an opportunity, and when they see one, they will start making a plan to zone in on that target. So, say again, yeah, another suggestion that gold prices are high at the moment, and that's why we're seeing a lot of it happening. So, yeah, we've covered it before, this time a bit more in depth. I mean, please, for your own safety, you know, as the suggestion was before, either leave anything valuable at home, or if you do want to take it with you, you know, leave it somewhere secure in your hotel. Even then I wouldn't trust it, but you know, watches, rings, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, you know, just leave them at home, particularly if they have sentimental value, and it would be, you know, an absolute gut punch to lose it. Leave it at home. All right, finished on a bit of a sour note, haven't we? Hopefully next week we'll find a few more positive things, but you know, we need to make you aware of some of the things that can happen, but take the precautions and you'll be safe. So, and don't worry about it. You know, if you're going to worry about those sorts of things, you know, shut yourself in your home. Don't even go to work. Don't even travel within Australia, because it can happen anywhere, a lot of these things. So take the appropriate precautions. You'll be safe. Next week we'll try and be a bit more positive. Hopefully we've found something to help you today. We'll see you again next week in the next video. Take care, safe travels.